Good morning, students. Today we will see our next part of our lesson 2, that is physics part 3. So first we will read about scalar and vector quantities. So what do you mean by scalar quantity? The quantity which can be described only by its magnitude. Only by its magnitude are known as scalar quantities. For example, I told you our last class distance, displacement. So among them, distance is your scalar quantity, because to express that we need only the magnitude. So what are the vector quantities? The quantities which require for its description the magnitude as well as direction. So to describe a physical quantity, if magnitude and direction are required, then it is known as vector quantity. For example, your displacement, because it is mentioned in which direction the body is moving, where in displacement. So displacement is coming under vector quantities. Next comes to speed. Speed is defined as the rate of change of distance or distance covered per unit time. So speed is having the formula speed is equal to distance by time. So if speed is denoted as V, then V is equal to S by T. So according to this formula, the speed is also having the unit meter per second or centimeter per second. This is SI unit, this is CGS unit. Next is your velocity. So velocity is the rate of change of displacement. Means instead of distance, here displacement will be there. So here V is a vector quantity. It will be denoted as ST. Direction will be mentioned because it is a vector quantity. So next is coming about the difference between speed and velocity. So when difference will be asked, it is in the book itself. You can go through. But easy way you remember, you can write its definition or about regarding scalar vector like that. So next, the types of speed. One is known as, the first category is uniform speed. So when a body is in motion, if it covers equal distance in equal time, then the speed is known as uniform speed. If it is not covering equal distance in equal time, means unequal distance in equal time interval, then the motion is known as non-uniform speed. What is that? Non-uniform speed. Another is average speed. Third category is average speed. So average speed is defined as total distance traveled divided by total time taken. Similarly, velocity also having different categories: uniform velocity, non-uniform velocity, average velocity. So whatever speed or velocity will be asked, you should understand the meaning of uniform, non-uniform, average. Then you can define. Next comes to the mass. What do you mean by mass? Mass is the amount of matter contained in an object. Amount of matter contained in an object. So what are the devices to measure the mass? In general, while buying the vegetables, fruits and all, they are using beam balance. What in Oriya or local language you are telling it as the Nikiti. That beam balance is the instrument or device to measure the mass. Suppose you are going to jewelry shop, very small physical quantities or very small mass in your laboratory also you are using, that is physical balance. In jewelry shop you may saw inside glass box one small beam balance was there, that is known as physical balance. So mass is having the SI unit kg. Mass is having SI unit kg. Other units also there, bigger are there, smaller are there. Next comes to weight. Weight is appearing just like mass, but the definition is different. Weight is the force with which everybody is attracted towards the center of earth. Means whenever you are leaving any object, all are attracted towards the earth by a force. That force is known as weight. Since it is related to more or less force, it is having the SI unit Newton. Force is having the SI unit Newton. Next comes to how to distinguish between the mass and weight. So first point I told you here also. So whenever difference will be asked, first you write the definition. So define mass, define weight. Next comes to the unit. Here you can write SI unit is kg. Here you can write SI unit is Newton. Next, mass can never be zero. Mass can never be zero, but weight can be zero depending upon the value of small g. So at some places g is 0. So what are the places? You will learn it in next year. Just you remember here, it can be 0. Next, you can write the devices to measure the mass. For example, devices are physical balance and beam balance. But weight I did not tell. Now I am telling. To measure the weight, the device is spring balance. What is that device? Spring balance. So in this way, you can define between mass and weight. So your lesson is finished. Next class we will go to the question answer. So children, listen thoroughly, read thoroughly, go through the book also. From book also you can get the definitions, differences and all. Thank you children.